Today I'll be showing you a skilpdajie on toast. When you go to a braai, it's always annoying to wait for food. So this is a little dish that's quick to make, tasty and to the point. So the first part of the dish is this Mexican style cornbread. So it's very easy to make. The beauty of Woolworths. Right, so add our flour into the bowl. Add our spice mix, our dried spice mix. Give it a shake. We're going to add 140 mils of oil or melted butter. We are going to add our sweet corn. Give it a mix quickly and then add the eggs afterwards one by one. Then I'm going to mix it through. You can use a whisk, but I find a spatula much easier. So at this point, your oven should be set to 180 degrees. You're going to line a loaf tin and bake according to the packaging instructions. So the next step of this dish is the Soweto sauce. So Soweto sauce, I don't know if it's a real thing. Chef friend of mine from Rwanda who came through to South Africa to do a dinner. I was fortunate enough to help him with that dinner. So he had this Soweto sauce on one of his dishes. So it's basically a bisto. In South Africa we call it a bisto, but it's also like a tomato onion relish. Nothing crazy, but the difference is now we're going to use some shallots and some tomato paste and a bit of water. So first we start off with some ghee. Ghee's got some umami in it, so it also adds some nice flavors to the dish. In Italy, when they make tomato sauce or whatever they call it there, they always add some butter at the end. So you'll notice I'm using a cast iron pan, because I think any person braaiing with their salt needs to have a cast iron pan. It's not free advertising, it's true. Shallots are more gentler than normal onions, but you can use a normal onion, no problem. Into the pan. A bit of salt always goes a long way to just get the moisture out of the onions and to build flavor from the beginning. Not too much. That's over some really low coals, so you can hear the pan is not sizzling, it's just simmering very nicely. So every family's got their own way to make bisto. You can add garlic if you wish. You can add some curry powder or some spices. But for this purposes, we'll keep it as simple as possible just to get the ultimate flavor of the tomato and the onion in the dish. So in our Soweto sauce, tomato paste is key, because I find that when you go shopping or when you look through your fridge during the week, you always have some half tubes of tomato paste. So this is a nice way to use them. So the rule of thumb is like for every onion you use or every shallot you use 1 tin of these. It's a pretty easy way to remember it. While your Soweto sauce is cooking, it's important to add about 2 teaspoons of water, or 2 tablespoons of water rather, just to loosen the sauce. Because as it cooks, it will reduce and thicken a bit, so you need to add a bit of water to keep cooking the tomato paste. You'll know it's done when it's like a nice jammy consistency. So the second part, or the third part rather, of this dish is the chimichurri. I think chimichurri is one of those things that every braai master should have. Some shallots again, and some parsley from this beautiful plant. A nice pinch of chives, and then a tiny bit of dried oregano. And then we'll have a bit of ground paprika for some smokiness, a bit of salt. I prefer to use canola oil because of a more neutral taste. A bit of honey, just a touch. Give that a mix. It's always nice to add a bit of vinegar. I prefer brown vinegar. So a nice malty note to it. Ooh, not too much, just a touch. Half a lime. Give that a good mix. So the trickiest part about cooking skilpdajie of any kind is the cow fat. It does burn and it does make a mess. So ideally what you want is a very low temperature. You try to cook the filling and cook the fat. So once you've placed them on your grill, the trick is not to touch them. Just let them be and they will do their thing, I promise. Now we're going to assemble this toast. It's very straightforward really, so I'll show you how to do one. Then on our grill, which we grilled our skilpdajie on, just to absorb all that fat and oil on the grill. You don't want to toast it too much, just to warm it through really. Right, so we'll take some of our Soweto sauce. And that's our skilpdajie on toast. It's like a meatball sandwich. That's also nice. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we didn't figure out how to eat this thing. I won't embarrass myself with fitting it into my mouth. Nice and tender. Nice smokiness in the sauce also because of the smoke and the cast iron pan. Yeah, I think this could be a nice party trick.
And action.
There's a word for it.
Neutral.
Yeah, that one. That should be fine. Right, Abs?